Hey, you guys, we are back with another beautiful vegan, holistic health and wellness, Miss Latoya. Thank you so much for coming on our channel. She does a lot of things in the community, as I saw. You getting ready to do something
Oh,
this
yes.
this weekend?
Yes. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. But yes, I am Latoya. I am a founder of Savannah Black Raw Vegan Meetup and also owner of Infinite Nature. And, the whole purpose of my brand, particularly Infinite Nature, because I started with that first, is to support people in tapping into their power within through holistic health and wellness. And I am a holistic practitioner. I'm also, of course, a health coach. I'm a mother. I do a lot of things. I am a raw vegan chef, but I also do alkaline cooked vegan foods also. And I started to do more desserts, so I'm excited about that. I do have my Savannah Black Raw Vegan Meetup, which is a group that I created back in 2017 when I decided to move back to Savannah. A little time after I moved back to Savannah, I created the group so that I can connect with like-minded people and, more people that actually look like me that, is into the journey. So I started that in 2017, but I slowed down in 2018 when I got pregnant. And so then 4 years later, I decided to start it back up again. And because people started asking about it. And I've been consistent for the last 7 months now. So now we're going inside. I've been hosting the challenges, not challenges. I mean, I've been hosting the meetups outside. Bring your own fruit because I find some people overthink raw food. So I was like, instead of having potlucks and stuff, like just bring some fruit. That's raw. So I've been doing that over the summer, and now that it's starting to get cooler again, I'm now bringing it inside, and I'm going to be having an event that's going to be here in Savannah, Georgia, at the Baha'i Unity Center. And it will be from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody is invited, of course, and I will be offering uh, I will be preparing a meal, like I'm doing a meal prep, like a food demo, I should say. I'll be doing a food demo. I'll also be doing a group energy reading and also just offering tips to support people in thriving holistically during the holidays because that can be challenging. So there's a lot going on right now, but I'm excited about it.
Yes, that's great. And what day is that? Is that this
Oh,
week?
yes, that'll be November 12th, this Saturday, November 12th, from 1 to 4 p.m. In Savannah, Georgia, at the Baha'i Unity Center.
So it's the 12th. Today is Friday.
Yes, the Friday the 10th. Yes, today's Friday the 10th, so it'll be on November 12th. I'm sorry, Sunday. Sunday, you're right. I was thinking too fast. Yes, Sunday, November 12th.
Okay.
Yes, yes, thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm like, I want to make sure. I'm like, am I on the right
Right,
day?
right. Yes, you are. I'm just thinking fast. I got a lot going on.
Yes, I understand. I know you have a little one there as well.
Yes.
But thank you again for sharing that with us. Please, you guys, if you're in Georgia, Savannah, go ahead and connect with her. This sounds like this is going to be amazing. So you guys please
Yes,
support
yes,
her
yes.
and everything she's doing. And thank you.
Thank you.
Wish you was down here.
Because maybe one day I will, because people do ask me to do things in different states or whatnot. And my mother also stays in Florida, but she stays in Jacksonville area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's way up.
Yes, way up.
Yes. Okay, I like to start out by asking when you was a child, how was your eating habits?
I was the traditional Southern cuisine. I grew up in Savannah, Georgia, so I experienced lots of seafood and just lots of just regular Southern soul food. All the meats. some of the meats I'm kind of embarrassed to say I ate. Oh my goodness. But the beauty of it is I really appreciate my grandparents because my grandparents are from, well, lived in St. Helena Island, South Carolina. So I got to experience a lot of the Gullah Geechee experience and got to see, and I got to experience a lot of them growing their own food and being able to see a balance and not just being in the grocery store. Hold on one
Mhm.
moment. I have to mother for a moment.
Okay, that's fine. I hope you all are doing well, and thank you guys for supporting our channel here. And please, if you're in Georgia, please check out our sister here, Latoya, and everything she's doing.
All right. Thank you so much. Mother's work never done. Okay.
Yeah, I
All right.
understand.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So yes, so as far as I grew up just eating regular Southern cuisine and seafood, and but I appreciate the balance that I was able to see with my, particularly my grandparents growing their own food, and
Mhm.
just even when it came to the fishing or crabbing, I was able to see those things, cutting down a tree for Christmas or whatever, things like that. So I was very grateful to see like a balance in their ancestors. Now they are, they have transitioned on. So I strive to keep, those memories that I have alive even now. And I appreciate food even more now looking back on that experience. But I definitely did not grow up eating uh, vegetarian or anything. I didn't know anything about that. I could never imagine myself eating of meat at all. Not eating meat. Like
Yeah.
this was a surprise. Me going on this
All
experience.
right.
Yes. Hmm.
Yes. I when you talked about some of the meats that you like, I remember when I was a child, my mom, I remember I don't know, it was on a Saturday. I went in the house and I smelled it like, oh, what is that smell? The whole house was sent up. And I heard it was a chitlins. I'm like, I don't know about that. So, my family, like I said, they are from Georgia as well. But yeah, that was an experience for me. But
Yes.
I had
Yes.
all the things as well. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Hmm.
So, how did you get on this journey of being raw vegan, plant based, alkaline? Like, how did you get here? And if you're a raw vegan now, could you tell us how did you get to be that as well?
Yes, yes. So I've been on my plant-based journey for 11 years and 8 years eating raw vegan, including a raw vegan pregnancy and breastfeeding. So I started back in 2011. I was going through a whole lot of things in my life and I was doing a lot of reading. And I read this book by Russell Simmons called Do You? And I thought it was going to be like a business book, but it was really him talking about, personal development and applying what he learned in the industry to that. And one of the things he talked about was eating vegetarian. And I was like, I wouldn't mind doing that one day. So, I wrote in my journal that I was going to do it one day. I didn't think that I could do it because I felt like it was too expensive. And I was a graduate student at that time and all that. I was just like, I don't have time for that. So I just planted a seed, and then maybe about a year later, I connected with my daughter's father at the time, and he was vegan. I had no clue what vegan was. I just knew what vegetarian was, but it inspired me to go ahead and just start the journey. So for like maybe like a month, I slowly released each meat. So I wasn't eating pork really. So then the next week I would release beef, and then just went on. And then by the end of the month, I didn't really have a desire for any type of meat. And then I released the dairy. So from August of 2012, I had released dairy. But however, maybe 3 weeks into the journey, I tried to eat some Baskin Robbins ice cream, and my stomach was like, no. So then I was like, okay, I can't have this anymore. So, since then I've been on my journey. I've been about 11 years. And then I was planted the seed of going raw when I met connected with my mentor. I found her online on YouTube. Her name is Lisa Marie Goodson, and she had Blackberry Beauty, and she talked about all things raw and the spiritual aspects of it and everything. I was very inspired, but I knew I wasn't ready for that. So maybe about 3 years into the journey of eating just vegan, I took one of her intensives, which is just a group of women virtually. This is before all the things that have happened in the last 3 years when everybody's now doing online thing, but she before then. And so she encouraged a group of women to, eat raw. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna eat raw. And I did it for 30 days and I didn't stop. And that was in 2015. So I haven't stopped since. And that included getting pregnant while eating raw, and also having a raw vegan pregnancy. I had an amazing midwife who had experience with a raw vegan pregnancy with another woman. So she wasn't, she was very confident, and she was able to just teach me a lot. And I learned even more about my body. I learned more about nutrition in general, and a lot of that stuck with me now. So, I feel like I've been able to stay on this journey because I didn't force myself to do it. I did it when I felt like it was time for me to do it, and I enjoy it. It's not something that I'm trying. I don't compare myself to other people. I just do what I feel like is best for me. So I feel like that's why I've been able to do it for this long. And that's pretty much my journey of like how I started and where I am now. And I'm still eating raw or whatnot. And now that my daughter is now starting to be in like a more of a school setting, I've had to make some changes to that because she's been like a raw child, and she's still, high raw child. But with her being in school in a social environment, I've had to start making more cooked foods so that she could feel included, and also introduce her to just new things that she can have that I've already had before, but never really cooked because it's not best to cook it raw. So that's pretty much.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that. I like how you say you released the different meats and you released, like you let it go. I like that term that you shared. And then you had a raw pregnancy. How was like? Did you have morning sickness? Was it a quick delivery? Because I heard of having quick deliveries and all of that. Eating raw foods.
Yes, yes. So I really I had a great pregnancy. Now in the beginning stages before my midwife, before I had a first meeting with my midwife, I did feel weird like most women do in the beginning stages and a little nausea. But once she told me that I needed to increase my protein, because she was like a lot of times vegetarian, vegan women, they do great with the fruit, but when it comes to their protein, when they're pregnant, that's where they struggle with. So she said, she told me a certain amount of, she told me at the time 81 grams. She said, because she's really great at doing case studies on the women that she serves. So she was like, that seems to be a good number. So 81 grams of protein per day, which was a challenge because I would get full because raw vegan food is very dense. So it was a challenge sometimes to try to eat that. But she was correct. When I began to increase my protein to the 81 grams, my nausea went away. I had no morning sickness. I really enjoyed being pregnant. And I feel like part of it was because of just how I prepared my body for it. I was already eating raw, and I was eating it in a way to where I wasn't just eating fruit, no shade to anybody that just eats fruit, but I was kind of just a variety in the raw life, but eating a variety of the foods. And I was listening to my body. I ate a lot of greens, and I just up my protein smoothies and all the things just to make sure that my child, I didn't know she was a boy or a girl at the time, but just to make sure that I was growing and growing the baby in a way that was healthy. And I did. Within the first month of that recommendation, I gained 7 pounds. So I was
Wow.
able to see how I gained, because I lost weight on going raw when I'm already tiny. So I was like, oh my goodness, I lost weight. But then I saw myself gain it back during pregnancy and then keep it even after pregnancy. So, I saw myself go through the transition, and that's why I really appreciate midwife because she really taught me a different level of nutrition, you know. And I feel like a lot of that is missing in general, regardless of how you eat. There's not enough emphasis putting on the importance of nutrition during your pregnancy. It's so key, so key. And there's this false narrative that if you eat a certain way, that your baby will not be a certain weight. Now, my daughter would be considered a smaller baby. She was 6 pounds, but she was larger than even me and my siblings were when my mother had her. She was in between her father and my weight as a baby, as a newborn, and her father's weight. She was right in the middle of that, which I feel like that's normally how it is or whatnot. So it was just proven that regardless of your size, it's about like your nutrition, how, you know, along with genetics, but nutrition as to how what size your child would be. And I shown that she was the biggest out of all of me and my siblings, and my mother ate meat. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. So, like, what type of protein did you eat at that time when you were pregnant?
So of course I ate a lot. Okay. Yes. So I craved a lot of kale.
Mhm.
I craved a lot of kale and I ate a lot of greens, but then there was a point in time where I didn't want kale. I just wanted romaine. So I would say I ate a lot of greens. I would eat what else would I would do? I would do my protein smoothies, and even supposed to mix your fruits and your vegetables technically in your smoothies. I did it anyway. It's just about being mindful of how it may potentially impact you.
Mhm.
But I would do my greens with a protein powder, and then I will also put fruits of my choice in there. And I would, you know, sometimes put almond butter in there. I would do things like avocado, like lots and lots, like even to this day, lots of avocados, lots of coconut water, coconut, like all of those kind of things to kind of like stay full into, you know, seeds, whether it be in a smoothie or whether it be in a certain dish that I would make, or like a certain sauce that I would make,
Mhm.
or a certain like salad dressing. I would make my salads very hearty, still do to this day. As bad getting your, it's not as difficult to get your protein. It's just when you're trying to hit a goal, it can seem hard to do it because I get full fast when I was pregnant. I got full, but when I was breastfeeding, that was a completely different thing. I ate a lot. It was not hard.
Mhm. Wow, thanks for sharing that because you never know. It's a lot of people. Something that I talk about on this channel is that and this was a couple years, some years back. I told people if you're going to want to have a child, you need to prepare your body. You need at least 2 years to
Yes.
clean your system out because all the things that's going on inside the body, you creating another human being. So you don't want to be eating a bunch of stuff or having your system toxic
Mm-hmm.
and then create a baby. So, wow, thanks for sharing that. And thanks for, giving the tips of the things that you ate as far as the protein. So, thank you so much. The
You're welcome.
protein is important and it's not the animal flesh. And you have a beautiful little girl.
Thank
And thank you for sharing that.
you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, who inspired or inspires you to continue eating? Or in the beginning, I know you mentioned Russell Simmons and your daughter's father.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone else inspired you to eat the way you eat?
As far as like currently, I would say that I've been on this journey so long that, you know, I have seen I've seen how this was a part of my life. Like I was meant to do this. You know, this is even deeper than, I feel like I'm healing my bloodline. Like it goes extremely deep. You know,
Yes.
and to the point where I'm so grateful that I was able to experience like my mother going through a 21-day detox with me, because I'm part of an Emerald Green Collective, which is a group of me and my sisters. Um, we or coaches, we're practitioners through Queen Afua. That's where we got our training from. And so we do our 21-day detoxes. And my mother did one and she was there. It was just, I feel like it was a beautiful thing to see her, how she was transforming and what she was experiencing as she was like eating less flesh, and seeing how she was remembering her dreams and all those things. So to me, I feel like at this point currently, just my legacy, my daughter, my bloodline, seeing how it just has catapulted me on a lifelong long journey of healing. And that, I feel like I meant to have, I call my daughter my green baby, like she was a green baby. And I was like, I'm here to have more green babies and to connect with someone who is on that same journey and understands the mission is way bigger than even me. So I will say that that's current. But I would say people like Queen Afua also, who is a major pioneer in the Black community as far as holistic health and wellness and supporting women with their womb, getting connected with their womb and understanding the power of their womb and how your womb is connected to your voice, and how so many women have had issues with speaking up, including myself, and how traumas from our past, things that we may have not realized have been lodged into our bodies energetically, how it's impacting us on so many levels. And some of the ways that is snuffed is through the food. And a lot of times things happen to where, with surgeries, people getting surgeries to get their womb, their uterus removed, all these things are happening when, there's other alternatives out there, so it's so big. But I would say the main is my legacy and understanding that I'm healing my bloodline, and that when I heal my relationship with myself, I heal all my relations. That's something that Queen Afua says all the time, and it sticks with me.
Yes, yes, that's beautiful. Yes, got to you have we should consider healing so that we can move on and create beautiful beings, human beings.
Yes.
So yes, yes. What is some of the biggest misconceptions that you've heard about the way you eat over
Oh,
these?
yes. That's a good question. Oh, there's a lot. They're like, one of the things is like, what do you eat? So it's just like, even though I love salads because of how I make them. But I find that some people maybe think that that's all that you eat, when that's not true. There's so much that you can make. You have your gourmet raw, of course, but you also have your, just your basic, regular, more alkaline version of eating raw. You also, you just have to go into the kitchen and get creative and get motivated into making different recipes. One of the things that I personally do is just take what I love and then make the raw version of it. Like that's what you can do. And sometimes you may not like it as much, but like I used to love eating spaghetti all the time, but I'm not a big fan of red tomato with the zucchini. I'm not a big fan of zucchini noodles. I prefer kelp noodles, but I find that red pasta sauce is not, to me, tastes the best with kelp noodles. But I like it with creamy cashew like noodles. I tend to prefer those. But it's that, I think that's the biggest thing is people just thinking that they're thinking that I'm doing it for a different reason. They don't, but it's like you're doing it. Are you doing it for that because you really truly enjoy it? Or are you doing it because you're trying to prove a point? Or, while there are some people who do have, body disorders, and
Mhm.
that's not where I'm at, but that is a real thing, so I feel like there's certain misconceptions when it comes to that. Or, I do feel like sometimes people judge in the sense of they're judging themselves, but think you're judging them,
Mhm.
because that's a big one too. And it's just like, no, I'm so used to being the odd one out. So who am I to judge somebody for how they eat or how they choose to live their life in general?
Mhm.
So that's a big one. And just people just understanding that I'm more, I'm not just Latoya the raw vegan or Latoya the holistic practitioner. I'm still Latoya from Savannah, Georgia. Like that. Like I'm still a human being. I still have my own stuff, because I do sometimes feel like when you do reach a certain level of like of healing, or reach a certain level of just being experienced in some things, people may see you as, I don't want to say untouchable, but they see you maybe as, maybe she can't relate to me, or maybe she will judge me for this, or maybe this, that. So that's the biggest thing, is just people understanding that this is a part of my life, but this is not all of who I am. It is a part of my life purpose, but it's not. There's more to me than just that. So that's the biggest thing. I also think that there's another misconception of like when it comes to like, where do you get your like your protein from, or all the things like that. I find that people are more they want to know more about, are you really getting all of your supplements, and like I feel like I got my more supplements now on my plant-based lifestyle than I did when I wasn't, because of and I think part of it is because people put that in your mind, like, are you getting enough? And then even when I was pregnant, and that's when I started to be more intentional with making sure that I was getting all my vitamins and things in. But even at the start of it, the only thing that was low was the vitamin D, which tends to be more common in African American people anyway. But I thought that was interesting, that everything else was pretty much fine. So that goes to show you that when you study your body, and you are intentional with striving to make sure that you're having a balanced lifestyle, even regardless if it's raw or not, then you'll be fine. So I feel like those are some of the misconceptions that I've experienced personally.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that with us. You such a beautiful spirit. Like your soul is just, you know, so calm and relaxing and loving.
Thank
Just
you.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You mentioned supplements because people the supplement thing. Supplement. My thing with the supplements, I always like to think, what did my ancestors do? Like, what did they do back in the days? They didn't
Mhm.
do all these things. So, do you take any supplements other than, I mean, because some of us use food as our supplement, and you mentioned.
Yes. So before I had my daughter, no, I didn't take any supplements at all. After I had my daughter, just because I'm a first time mom, and I just wanted to make sure everything was right, as far as I can go. Especially with it being a raw vegan pregnancy and people, questioning that initially. I just wanted to make sure I was good. So I did start taking started taking the vitamins, prenatal vitamins, and then I took like the protein, powder for the smoothies, and vitamin D since it was already low, and I was taking probiotics. So I do those things, and I've stuck to pretty much most of those things. I haven't seen anything. Feel like my health has been better since, so I haven't stopped doing them. So
Mhm,
so me personally, I don't see anything wrong with taking in the sense of like, because of the quality of the food now,
mhm,
especially the fact that a lot of people don't grow their food, or the access to food is just, it's a little bit more of a challenge.
mhm,
I definitely don't see any issues with taking supplements, but people just have to be mindful of where they're getting their supplements from, because you
mhm,
know not all brands are equal, and so it's just being mindful of that. I say just go based upon your body, and it's good to get testing, because I've also done that. I love to go to the like regular allopathic doctor, just to see where they're going to say about my health, and
mhm,
normally they're impressed. So with that being said, and I don't even tell them I'm raw. I just say, yeah, I'm vegan. I don't want to go into any of that when I take my daughter to the doctor. Oh, she's just vegan. I don't go into the detail of her eating a lot of raw food or
mhm,
whatever. And the testing have in the past have come back, just fine, as far as like for the, of course, I did the whole panel, but I know for my daughter, they tend with the children, they tend to do like the iron levels and stuff like that. And her
Mhm.
iron has normally come back fine, so.
Mhm. Wow, that's great.
Mhm.
Great, great, great. Wow. So what makes you excited about the way you eat?
I would say for sure the energy that I have experienced, especially when you do fasting. When I do like liquid fast, where
Mhm.
I'm just drinking like smoothies, teas, soups, or whatnot, but soups that are raw or
Mhm.
whatnot, water, coconut, all of that, and how much energy you have. And just eating raw, you just have way more energy. You don't require as much sleep.
Mhm.
But I still have to be mindful to make sure I get an adequate number of sleep. So if I get about 6 hours of sleep, I'm good. Everybody has their number that they need in order to, be okay. And six is mine. And, just the creativity all across the board, I feel like I became more creative in the kitchen. And it also transformed in other aspects of my life too, in just the ability to just plant seeds, to do the things that I'm doing now. I just remember starting my YouTube channel in 2015, talking about this journey, talking about, what made me want to eat this way and just other parts of my life that I've grown from or whatnot. And now I'm where I am, where I'm actually connecting with community, feeding community,
Mhm.
being part of sisterhood and
Mhm.
being part of tribe. It's just all these things that are like that have manifested over the years. So I just love the um how you go in thinking it's about the food or about your health, and you see that it's about transforming your life. And it's about,
Yes.
you being able to see your well, for me, see my purpose more clearly and being able to have the confidence to move forward and to get things done. So that's what I love about this journey, and about my how my relationship with food is much healthier than it was
Mhm.
before, and how I'm more intuitive with how I eat, more mindful of what I eat, and just appreciating Mother Nature more, being more mindful of how I treat myself and others and the earth. It's all
Mhm.
the things, just being more natural with how I live my life. Not saying that I still don't have my moments, but still, that's the what makes it beautiful.
Yes. You there? I can't hear you. Oh, okay.
Yes,
It
I'm here.
sound like it.
I think there's a
Oh,
slight
okay. Thanks for sharing that. I don't know, was you still talking because it kind of muted. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. So, what does a typical day, Miss Latoya, like? How, like, what do you normally eat in a day?
It depends. It varies. But for the most part, I'll start off with like, of course, a smoothie. I'll start off with smoothies. I'll take my supplements, and then I'll go from there. And I'll have like, I may have a huge hearty salad, and sometimes I may have something like a couscous dish, or I may have like kelp noodles, maybe like pesto kelp noodles, or I'll have chia seed pudding, or I'll have, something that's like, but the meal that's closest to the afternoon, that's normally my heaviest meal of the day. And
Mhm.
depending on how much I have of it, I may be good for the rest of the day.
Mhm.
But sometimes I may want to have a little bit more of what I had earlier. Maybe I want a salad, or maybe I want a sweet treat. So maybe if I made some cookies or a cake or a pie, because
Mhm.
raw vegan, I may try that. But it really depends on like how much I eat that day,
Mhm.
and what I'm eating, because some things are a little bit more hearty than others. But
Mhm.
that's pretty much it. Honestly, I'm not big on like on having lunch, uh, breakfast, lunch, dinner, because I really feel like it's based upon like you and what your body tells you to do, and I mean intuitively tells you to do. Because I may eat more. on one day and not eat as much on another day.
Mhm.
But that's pretty much like the gist of it. It's really simple, and a lot of times I'm sat at these days I'm satisfied with a hearty salad. When I mean hearty salad, I mean I'm putting like kale, I'm putting avocados, lots of it. I'm putting tahini. I'm putting like tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes, olives, cilantro, green onions. I'm
Mhm.
putting a lot of stuff in my salad. So it's not like I'm not eating like a rabbit. No. It's not like so I'm satisfied, you know. Um,
Mhm.
so it's pretty much that.
Ooh, that sound good. That kale salad. Um, so you make tabbouleh, like what do you use, wheat, or some people use cauliflower as an alternative? Like, what
Yes.
do you use for your tabbouleh?
Um, Honestly, I even though there's debates with this, I do the couscous, and then I just you could put water in it if you don't want to have no a lot of seasoning or whatever in it.
Mhm,
Um, but I just use couscous. That's one of the main ones that I use, and I put make the couscous. That I put like tamari, something like tamari in it, or you could use if you don't want to use that, you could use like coconut aminos or something like that. And then I
mhm,
put like olive oil, and then I also use cabbage and cilantro, shredded carrots, olives. I put all of that together, um, and let it sit. And then from
mhm,
there, that's a great hit. A lot of people love that dish, and it's a big hit on my meal prep menu too. And I normally eat that with a salad, and I may put some like a little bit of sriracha on it for a little spice. But that's what I eat. I don't really eat as much. I know you can sprout your quinoa, which I haven't done that as much, but I do like to try that out more, just out of curiosity. And there's been times where I've had um, sprouted rice, but I've had those at restaurants.
mhm.
That's something like a specialty. That those are really filling. But
Yeah.
it hasn't something not perfected yet or anything. But it's something I would definitely like to explore just to
Mm,
see what it's like. But it's not something I would want to have all the time, honestly.
mhm. Yeah. Wow. Sound like you be throwing out in the kitchen, sis.
Yeah.
I'm just like mouth watering. I'm like, man, she know what she doing. Like, yeah, you got it going on with the in the kitchen. Wow,
Mhm.
you guys got to go check her out, y'all. I know your mouth gonna be watering. The ones who watching the replay, you in Georgia, please go and support this Sunday on the 12th. Make sure I get the date right.
Yeah, thank
The
you.
12th. So yes, yes. Um, so you spoke a little bit about the legacy, but what is the legacy you would like to leave behind? You're young, vibrant, all of these great things going on for a long time, but the legacy you would like to leave behind.
Yes, the legacy that I would like to leave behind, I would want to make sure that my children and my children understand the importance of wellness, but also of community, and because those things go hand in hand, in my
Mhm,
opinion. Your gut is your first stomach, and a lot of times your relationship with yourself is linked to your health, believe it or not. So that's extremely important for me, and for them to be resourceful and to have all that they need. That's a big thing. I really want to make a big impact on my community, you know, and have them a part of that. In a sense of where I live at in Savannah, Georgia, and just making sure that there's everyone has access to
mhm,
food. I recently went to a summit that was for specifically for early childhood education, also just the school system in general, and it was in my city of Savannah, Georgia, and they brought it was the term nutrition. it was not just about having food security, but nutrition security. That was the term that I never heard of before. I was like, okay. So I was like, and just having nutrition security in my community, you know, especially in communities that tend to have food apartheid, not just food habits, but for apartheid. So that's a big thing for me. So having, you know, a urban farm in Savannah, that's a big thing for me.
Mhm.
And making sure that everyone has access to the food, and that, you know, it's related, that it's, people don't feel like they're far removed from experiencing healthy food, because of where they come from, or their what their reality is. You know, I don't want people to feel like that you have to live in a certain neighborhood or be a certain thing in order to have access to healthy food. So that's a big thing for me. And also, on another aspect of my of my legacy is just making sure that, you know, families are are sticking together because
Mhm.
I definitely have experienced things in my life that makes me see that there's a need for it. And, you know, just with women and going through pregnancy and all the things that you experience with that, and making sure that they're having the best foods and also having the support that they need and all the things. So there's so many layers to like the things that I want to tap into.
Mhm.
But the biggest thing is making sure that everyone has access to nutrition security, food
Mhm.
security, land sovereignty, you know, all those things. That's the biggest thing, is that my children are able to see, my great grands, all of them, to see that I lived a full life and that I was able to do the things that I love with people that I love, you know,
Mhm.
and have fun with it and relax and have fun, because I do feel like my parents' generation, you know, work so hard, you know, and
Mhm.
in some ways impacted by it, you know. So I wanted them to be able to see that you can work, but you can also have fun in the process of it, you know. So that's the biggest thing.
Yes, as you were speaking, one of my visions that I've had for years is to have land where it's community, like, and we're growing the food. And
Right.
I would throw these thoughts around for years with my family, like, okay, but people gonna just be popping up. I said I will have to have somebody, people that I can trust to live on the land, to, so they can come freely,
Mhm.
it would have to be set up a certain way. But I'm just seeing this vision just keep coming back to me. The thing that I love to do as well
Right.
is to have a community where people can come help grow the food and come pick it, have a plot or however you want to word it, and just come and eat and organic grown food. I mean, man, that's
Yes,
the way. That's the way.
that's beautiful.
Yes, thank you for sharing that with us. Wow, 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 wow. Much needed. We need these things like today. I hate like we ride around, like Florida has the longest growing season um,
Hmm.
for vegetables, and then we have a lot of different tropical fruits that is grown here. I think we get watermelons twice a year.
That's beautiful. Wow. Yes.
And but the sad part, I ride and we see these homes with no food growing, and like the papaya, we got papayas out there right now. And I'm like, I always tell my husband we should just take the seeds and just throw them about, and
Hmm.
hopefully the papaya trees will pop up. And then people can go and get the papayas, the ones who really need it, not the ones who are going to go sell it on the side of the road. But you know what I'm saying? Like this stuff is
Yes.
needed. It is needed. So yes, we need it's going to take place. So yes, thank you for sharing that with us. Do you have any last remarks to share with us? I mean, you have really educated us on a lot of things here today, and the love that you're sharing. Thank
Hmm.
you so much.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me. And I love having conversations like this, so I greatly appreciate it. And I hope that you all are inspired by the things that you've heard. And I know that sometimes for those of you that's on the journey, it can feel like lonely sometimes because you, especially socially, because I know what it's like. You have beforehand, eat, make sure you take something with you or whatnot. And sometimes you may feel uncomfortable taking something because you don't want to seem rude. But I
Mhm.
just say just be your true self. And I find that now that I've been on a journey for so long, I'm just being myself, and I don't even be realizing how much I'm impacting people, I'm inspiring people, I'm motivating people. So I just say stay true to who you are, and no
Mhm.
matter what, as long as you know that it's good for you, that's what counts. And for those of you that may feel like you really want to make these changes but you're having like blockages, like, or whatever, something just seems to just not be clicking. One of the
Mhm.
things I like to tell people is just write down your vision. What vision do you have for your wellness, like for your food experience? Like, what vision do you have? What's your intention of it? And then get creative in the kitchen, and have fun with it. Those are my steps, to be able to experience these things regardless of where you are in your journey, even if you're not eating raw, just in general. Because I do find that some people, they really desire the change, or they're making the changes, but as they're making the changes, the people in their life may have judgments or may question it. So
Mhm.
sometimes you may have to look at people, community outside of what you're used to, because it's going to take you on a big journey, like a huge journey. And if you ever need any support or anything, you can always reach out to me, Infinite Nature #1 Instagram, or on my Infinite Nature page on Facebook, or just go to my email, loveinfinitenature@gmail.com, and I can support, because I am a holistic practitioner and coach. So I can definitely give you some insight or whatnot. I also have my YouTube channel, Infinite Nature, and I have all types of things, from book reviews, from food demos, it's just talking about wellness in general, talking about raw vegan experiences, my raw vegan pregnancy, I documented that online. All those things are there. So you know, that's some level of motivation.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much. Please, I need to speak to you after. Oh my God. I just
Okay.
had a vision. So I want to talk to you about it. But anyway, thank you guys. Thank you again, Latoya, Miss Raw
Thank you.
Holistic Health and Wellness. She's doing the thing, she's doing the work in the community. You guys, again, please go and support her this Sunday. What time?
From 1 to 4 is Sunday, November 12th, 1 to 4 at the Baha'i Unity Center here in Savannah, Georgia.
Yes. So you guys go and support her. So we appreciate that. This is what I tell my people. Love you guys. Thousand roses. Love yourself first. Why? Because you're worth it. Peace. Take care, y'all. Thanks again.